Hi, and welcome to Financial ChitChat. I'm your host, Jerry Hill. And you know what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about, hey, should I schedule my diamond wedding ring or my fancy watch? What should I do about that? Does my homeowner's policy cover that? And if it covers that, what does it cover it for? And if it doesn't cover that, how do I get my really expensive diamond ring covered or my fancy watch covered to where if there is a loss, I'm covered? You guys understand this. A homeowner's policy is very limited when it comes to jewelry coverage. Generally, it's about $500 per item, but I can tell you that most of the time on a homeowner's policy, your jewelry is very rarely ever burnt up in a fire, and it very rarely ever gets, stolen from your house. All the jewelry losses I've had over my 25 years in the business have been through mysterious disappearance. And let me explain that to you. What that is, for instance, I'll tell you a claim that my mom had. She was shopping at Costco, she got home, she's washing her hands, she looks down and realized that the diamond in her wedding ring was gone. She had the ring on. There was no fire. She wasn't robbed. She wasn't burglarized. But yet somewhere in Costco, my mom must have bumped up against something and her setting must have loosened and the diamond fell out. Now that's good news for the Costco employee who's probably cleaning the floors and gets a really cool diamond, but bad news for my mom because it was very expensive. And she wants to know if she's covered. And the answer is, yes, Mom, you're covered because we scheduled that wedding ring. And what we did is we took a current appraisal and we put it directly onto her homeowner's policy, and she paid an additional premium to have that ring on her policy. But then that ring is now covered through mysterious disappearance. The coverage on that, they call it scheduled jewelry, where you take an article of jewelry, whether it's a ring or a necklace or a bracelet or a watch or what have you, and you list it directly onto your policy, and it provides that really, really broad coverage. And that's important when it comes to those items because a lot of people have a lot of value in their jewelry, whether it's a wedding ring or an engagement ring or an anniversary ring. All that stuff's important to us. And we would like to have coverage in the event of a loss. But it's also important to understand that in the event of a loss, most homeowners' policies do not cover jewelry. And if they do, it's very limited, and the amount of money is very limited as well. So again, best advice is talk to your agent or your broker. Ask them what the cost is to list those items that you feel are necessary on your policy, and then go out and get that current appraisal. Usually the companies will allow you to have an appraisal that's, I think the farthest back they'll go is like a year, but they would consider a year to be kind of a current appraisal. And then you can go ahead and list that on there. And you can also do this, by the way, with antiques. A lot of people have expensive antiques where maybe they've got a clock or a vase or what have you, or artwork. They also have, nowadays a lot of baseball or sports memorabilia is really expensive. And so you can insure that again on a homeowner's policy by getting the appraisal, by listing it on the policy. And something like art or sports memorabilia or an antique, that's less expensive than a diamond ring or a watch that you're constantly wearing all the time, because they figure that you probably wind up like my mom, bumping it, loosening the stone, it falls out, mysterious disappearance, it's covered. But you have more exposure from an insurance company standpoint, as you're wearing that jewelry out there versus you're hanging your jersey of Babe Ruth, in your man cave, that type of thing. So I hope that's helpful, and thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.